Hi guys, it's me Karen from Karen's Intuitive Jewelry. Hope you all are doing great and are starting to have some fall weather. It's barely cooling off here in Florida, but we can feel it. Okay, so today I'm gonna play with these dyed palm roots. And yes, they also are considered healing crystals, so I'll be researching those and the benefits of them. They're kind of cool. I typically don't go for dyed stones, but occasionally, and these caught my interest. And they're a coffin shape, so they'll, fit in for Halloween. And you guys also know I don't typically make a lot of themed projects, as I don't know, they just don't seem to sell all that much for me, at least not enough for me to have tons of leftovers, that sit around in my inventory. Anyway, I also pulled out this sugar skull bead that maybe I'll do something with it, not sure. With these two projects, I'm also thinking about doing one with silver gleam, keeping it nice and shiny and silver. And the other one, I'll use the Silver Bright, because I'm going to, actually I think it's going to be this way. I'm going to put a black patina on one of them. These are both lead-free, of course. And one has, this says 0.4% silver, so not much. And with silver gleam, I believe it has actually 4% or there around, and that's why it's shinier, and you could definitely see the difference. So I don't typically waste my silver gleam if I'm gonna patina. These two are the same price, but you get twice as much product for this one because it's not the shiny. Anyway, already cleaned my stones with alcohol, cleaned my hands. I'm gonna apply the tape and get it burnished and get the first layer of both solders on, and we'll have a look and see what it looks like at that point, okay? So I'll be back. Okay, let's have a look. And let me just zoom you down there. Can you see the difference from this far away? See if I can pick them both up. Can you see the difference? Oh, sorry about the shapes. It's clear as far as I'm concerned. This is the Silver Gleam, and this is the Silver Bright. So on the Silver Bright, I kind of did a jagged tape edge, and I'm gonna just put some decorative dots around it, and maybe put this on it. And then the Silver Gleam one, I was just gonna leave it plain and put a bail on it and maybe a couple of dots, but because I have the tape off the side, the dots will have to be on the side as opposed to on the top. So let's start with this one. It is not the Silver Gleam, it's the Silver Bright. And let's just do a few dots. Shall I zoom in some more? And if you get a peak like that, just tap it with your flux brush. You don't need a whole lot. And just tap down on it again, and it'll usually round up. Like that. And you can always build the bead up. And if it peaks, a little tap, and you get something like that. And keep in mind gravity, right? So if you don't want that to roll off so much, you can hold it more down. And we don't want that peak. Although spikes might be cool. It's too big. And yeah, my preference, if I could afford just to buy silver gleam, I would, because it's great. I think it's the best. Okay, so I'm going to continue. As you can see, it's hard for me to show you guys with the shaking. It's mostly my left hand. And when I'm trying to like grip tighter, if I loosen my grip, the shakes aren't as bad, but then I don't have as good a grip, right? So, believe me, I've tried. So remember, this is going to have some patina on it, and I think the skull. So let me figure out what to do with the sugar skull, and I'll be back. Well, unfortunately, these beads, the holes in them, are too small for what I wanted to use, because you need to have, you know, a pretty strong bail. The 16 gauge was a no-go. The 18 gauge was also a no-go, and 20 gauge wire would just not work. So I had to shift gears, if this will work, because I don't know. And I have these little skull beads. So now I'm trying to figure out how I can get those incorporated into the bail. So that's what I'm kind of struggling with right now. I tried a couple of different ideas already, and it was too hard for me. Somebody else could maybe figure it out. So this way, I'm thinking about just trying initially to get this straight wire soldered onto the top, and then I can feed this bead on here and then do a loop. Because trying to do the loop and putting the bead on and then trying to, you know, hold everything together and have the bead not slide off and be in the wrong, you know, orientation, blah, 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 that was just not working out. So that's what I'm trying to do now. And I'm going to continue off camera until I figure out if it's going to work, and then I'll explain how I did it. And if it doesn't, I'll move on to something else. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so I got that on there, that wire on there. And I really don't want this to spin. So I'm gonna try and, because this I believe is a metal bead. So I'm going to try and add some solder to the back and hope that it'll attach and won't move, and then I can worry about doing a loop, right? So here we go. Just letting that melt a little and hope that it's doing something to the bead. Nope. Because you never know what these things are made out of. And if they'll work. So this may not work at all. And I may end up with a big blob that I have to smooth out. So let me continue with that and I'll be back with the results, okay? Okay, I managed to get it to work. Now the solder did not actually stick to the bead, but it created a little well that allowed for it to stick down in there and keep it from turning. And then when I bent the loop around, I made it really tight so it barely has any give in it. So hopefully that'll do enough. And that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. In fact, I thought about doing it on this next one, but I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna do a plain bail on it and then maybe just do some texture on this, because remember, I did not even run the tape up over the stone on this one. So there won't be, a lot of ability to do much unless I put beads or whatever along the side. But I can tell you right now that you can even feel a difference with the silver gleam when you feel it, as opposed to the other. It's not as smooth. Interesting. Okay, so let me get this set up and get this soldered on and decide on what kind of decoration, if any, I'm going to do, and I'll be back. Okay, so I just put a regular bail on this one. This is the silver gleam one. And then, I don't know, I just kind of went with my intuition, and I just did like these real sharp slices. Can you see how much that reflects the light? And it gives it kind of a, messy look, but I think it looks pretty cool. And then I just drug a few edges over the side. And yes, of course, there'll be some sharp edges because of that. But here's where you can use a burnishing tool. This is like a silversmithing one. And just burnish those down. And burnish even these tips down a little bit so they don't have a tendency to catch. And then I also will probably take my radial wheel and get whatever other sharp edges are. I left the back plain, but man, you can see the difference for sure of the two, and especially now, look at how dull. This has like a pewter look. Now you can get it a little bit brighter, but it will never be as bright as the silver gleam. And I really like that. It really, you know, I don't know what I like about it. But let me go wash these up, and I'll try to get this a little bit more silvery. And we're going to put a patina on this one as well. So I'll be back. Okay, guys. So here is the final two pieces. I left a really dark black patina on this one, and I think it looks very cool, very different. And I paired it with a black cord. You'll notice it's not shiny so much where the black is. Even if you use a pro polishing pad, it won't really get shiny. Well, I guess a little bit. Maybe I need to experiment with that more. What it's doing is it's taking the black off and bringing out the shine. But if you want to leave it really black, right, which is what I wanted to do, but now I'm going to go with it. But what I was going to say is that it's not really shiny when it's really black, but you can seal it. And it's probably recommended to seal it with patina anyway, because it can wear off. And if you seal it, it'll certainly have a high gloss, right? So, oh well, I was going to leave it black, but at least it's shiny now. So there's this one. What do you guys think? It's kind of spooky. And then this one, I just love this. I really like that. And I'm just going to leave it silver, and I put a stainless steel is what I use with all my chains, even if it's gold plated. But yeah, it's so shiny, and that slashing really gives something for the light to reflect off of. So two totally different pieces, right? So which one's your favorite? I like them both, actually. So, okay, there is your dyed palm root coffin stones for Halloween. And these are going to go into the Enchanted Treasures, which will be my next delivery that I'm doing tomorrow. So these and a couple other older Halloween pieces, my witches hats that I made last year, these are going to also go into the shop. This is when I was experimenting with how to make a witch's hat, which isn't easy. And why I didn't make any more, but these can go in there. Look at that cool gold obsidian, gold sheen obsidian. And this is a gold stone. This is man-made. And this is a little labradorite. So these have to be added to the tree, and I have to pull the information on palm root and print out the cards, but have the cards for these. Anyway, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And until the next one, we'll see ya. Bye.